Ladies and gentlemen, it's something to do with Peter Osterhaus and Wilmar Fuji. We promise it's something to do.
Everybody, welcome back to It's Something to Do with Pete and Will.
How you doing? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I guess hit a bell for notifications. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, but I hear good things.
You know, it'd be great if you got on board with this project.
Leave a comment.
Yes.
I don't know.
Comments.
About whatever. Just whatever. It could even be.
You guys suck.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. How you doing? You had a newspaper in your hand, like
well, the producer told us to be topical.
Well, but why? This is not going to air for another 4 weeks.
Well, don't tell them that.
That what we're doing is 4 weeks. Like when you're watching this, we did this 4 weeks ago.
The 8 of you that listen to this,
they'll know when you pull out this headline, you who gets a newspaper like you're 100 years old, and then reads a headline from it, they're gonna be like, "That's not in the news today."
Well, that's what I was looking at, things that weren't really topical. There's like something about Tesla here.
All right, so go for it. What did you have?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
We'll get to that later.
What do you just want to show the newspaper and be like, "This is the date," like proof of life video?
It happened to be in my hand.
Oh.
I
thought you brought a last week. You brought your letter. You brought, in one of the earlier episodes, you brought a note covered in blood. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I thought you were turning this into the Carrot Top 15 minutes of topical humor where you bring out a thing. Here's my phone.
I've still got this guy.
You guys know what's on these?
Can we get a sponsor so I don't have to do this? We'll talk about our sponsors later. We got a lot.
Oh yeah, they're lining up.
Yeah,
they're lining up.
Well, because it's a smash hit. My parents came out this week, and they actually, because everybody's been vaccinated, they were able to come in and say hi. But what was funny was my mom. But the first thing that she told me was they're staying in a hotel, and the hotel didn't have they don't have the regular buffet kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so she went and bought a toaster and put the toaster in the hotel. I said, "You went to Target and bought a toaster to toast?" She's like, "Yeah."
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But then she's like, "Yeah, then I just throw it away. I don't care. I mean, it's,
you leave it there. It's a $15 toaster. If you've got $15 to throw away and you're like, whatever, man, it's not a big deal. Then, you can think about it this way too. If you went to Target and bought yourself a $15 toaster, you're staying for a week.
Yeah.
Go to Target, you buy yourself a $15 toaster, you go to the grocery store, you buy yourself a loaf of bread and whatever else you want to put on it. You're looking at what? $22 all in.
Yeah.
And you can't get breakfast in LA for a week for less than $22. You're coming out ahead.
I said, that's going in the podcast. She's like, I'm in the podcast. I was like, don't worry, nobody watches this.
I got kind of hooked on a video one night. I was like having trouble falling asleep, and I was scrolling through the endless scroll on Instagram. And one of them was a video of a person, I don't know, it was just hands, making food, like making full meals with whatever is in a hotel room. So they bought groceries and they were using the iron and the coffee maker, the single cup coffee maker to make to make an entire meal of food that at the end looked edible. It didn't look bad. And I was amazed by the ingenuity. I mean, you're not like, you're making a grilled cheese or whatever using the iron. You're not just putting the grilled cheese right down on the bread. There's wax paper. There's wax paper involved, Parmesan. I guess. Yeah. But I mean, almost. It was like, here's how to make spaghetti. And they're like boiling the water in the little
in the coffee pot.
Yeah. In the tiny little thing. I was like, it's fascinating. Because I spent a lot of time in hotels earlier on in my career and like flying to all these random places. And in most major cities, you'd be totally, you're in a Hilton. They've got at least some form of room service. So when you land at 11 o'clock at night, you can get something. But every now and then you're in a random ass place in like West Virginia. Yeah. And you go to a hotel room and it's like, there's nothing is open. There's not even anywhere within a walking distance. You've got and this is like pre-iPhone. You got no idea where you're going for fucking food. And there have been a handful of times where I've thought like, if only I could have whipped something together in this room, but I don't have the know-how.
It was funny. Brian Regan, one of his things that just came to mind that
just be aware, if you say it verbatim, we're gonna get sued.
No. It's just a story. It's not a joke. All
right.
And nobody's watching this.
You should run this past our lawyer. Not until you start doing other people. We do
have a lawyer.
Yeah, not until you start doing other people's thing, and then all of a sudden, boom.
But I give him credit.
Cease and desist letter.
It's credit to him. He and it's not in his act. He was just on a podcast discussing that his favorite food, even though he's a multimillionaire, is the spaghetti, like SpaghettiOs, no meatballs, and not heated. So he'll be in a thousands of dollars a night room, and he's like cold SpaghettiOs, and so and it's hard for him to find it because he has to like if you're in Las Vegas, you know how hard it is to get around Las Vegas, but he'll find like a CVS or something and go and get the spaghetti, not meatballs and not warmed up, and the only thing he has to ask for is something to open the can.
A can opener?
Yeah. So the person will bring up a can opener and he tips the person for the can opener, and that's his dinner. He's like, it's my favorite. I don't know why.
Now we know
what I'm doing.
I mean, aside from his career and the amount of like venues he performs for and whatever,
dude, he makes also like $300,000 or $400,000 a night.
And how he's got so much money, he's not spending any money on food.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, and you're just, telling this story. So I don't have any context for it, but I would say, you could also bring the can with you and also a can opener, and then you wouldn't have to tip the guy. You could just have your own can of cold ass spaghetti.
Yeah. But you just don't know when the thought's going to hit you. Like, you know what I really want?
Always have one then. It's a can of SpaghettiOs. You can't throw that in the carry-on.
Yeah. But if it's a 50-pound bag, and you've got that 12 ounces, and now they're like, we got to check your stuff. You're like, come on, man.
Throw out a shoe. Throw out one shoe. Yeah. All right.
That's another comedian's joke.
I'll buy another shoe later.
I can't remember what comedian that is, but he's like, I got up there and they said it's 50 pounds. He's like, I don't know what 50 pounds is. They're like, well, you got to get rid of 4 pounds. I'm like, what does that mean? So what do I carry?
It's crazy. Yeah. We've definitely been in that situation where we've gone to the airport and I'm like, McKenna, you're putting these curling irons in your backpack then. Sorry. That's just the way it is. That's usually what it is. She has multiple curling. Yeah. 2. It's usually something like that. Like if you're looking for 4 pounds of like underwear, that's a lot of underwear. You don't have 4 pounds of underwear in your bag. It's always the toiletries and any like, a hair, like a blow dryer or a curling iron. Or shoes. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm already starting to leak, but last week I took Dayquill before we did this. And I don't know if you noticed, I didn't blow my nose once. However, Bridget watched and she's like, what? Were you drinking before the thing? I said, no, I took Dayquill. She's like, don't do that. Because I never take Dayquill. I don't, and it does kind of, Dayquill, it gets you a little woozy. And I don't have the little thing on the top that measures it.
So you're just chugging it?
I just swigged it. So if last week we were a little bit loose, that's why.
Honestly, I had no idea.
Well, nobody does. I mean, yeah.
No, I had no clue. I was
so she told me, she's like, don't
off today.
No, you didn't. I was.
No, I did not. I didn't think that at all. No. Yeah. And I can be honest.
You're so sweet.
How much Dayquill are you drinking to feel woozy from it? You know, it's a thing, right?
Well, I don't.
It's called
like I said,
Robitussin.
I don't have the. Yeah, that's Robitussin. I don't have the cap.
Uh-huh.
So I just take the top off and take a swig out of it. So whatever the amount of space is in my mouth, that's how much I take.
That might be like 2 or 3 times more than the cap. Just throwing that out there.
Because I did it again today.
I'm just throwing that out there. There might be a better way to do this.
Yeah, I did it again today.
Oh my God.
So now only my eyes leak.
You either drank not enough or too much of it.
Yeah, we'll see by the end of this. And nobody listens to the end. So, and actually, we'd really appreciate it if you did.
Do we have the metrics? We know that people are dipping out after the first like 25 seconds.
Well,
basically, after the intro, they're like,
yeah, exactly. We need you to listen to the end because that's when the sponsors come up. And the sponsors this week are.
We lost the paper. We'll find it.
These are the
We'll leave it in the show notes. What did you write down this week?
Oh, let's see.
And so help me to God, if it's another fucking Pound Town joke.
Dude, I told you I'm never going to say it again. I almost took it out of the last one. Have you ever told anybody that they misunderstand their role in your life?
No. Did you do that?
Uh-huh. I've had to break up with friends because somebody gets a little bit jazzy about their unsolicited advice.
Mm-hmm.
You're like you're misunderstanding your role in my life. I appreciate that, but I got married and she's the person that gives me shit.
That's amazing. So somebody was giving you shit.
I can't even remember. This was a long time ago, but
I was gonna say it's like I would never say that. I would never have the balls to say that to somebody. I would just go, and
then never talk to them again.
And then that would be it. And then I would just, or I would, but it would be like, you're gonna have like 4 or 5 missed calls, and then a month later.
What if you have to say to your parents?
Huh?
Mom, you misunderstand your role in my life.
It was your mom. Your mom said that to you.
You're an absolute sweetheart, but I don't need any of this.
I like that phrasing though. You misunderstand your role in this relationship. Yeah. And wait, what is it? I already forgot what it was.
You misunderstand your role in my life.
In my life.
Meaning pump the brakes. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, but I did not ask for your advice in any way in this situation. I will if I need it. However, this isn't one of those situations.
Now that's the entire internet. That's the entire internet.
Yeah, because they can't say it to the people that they want to, so they're going to give us shit.
It's not even. It's obviously not us specifically, but if you were like, I can't even think of an example. You could say the most mundane thing on Twitter, just the most mundane thing. People try to like find a way to be, funny or relatable or whatever. Usually it revolves around people not being able to adult. And if you're like, I can't do X, it's a thing that I don't like to do. Yeah. Somebody always in seriousness will reply to you with, why don't you just try this? And it's my response always like, I don't listen to random person on the internet. I got it figured out. I'm fine. I was just venting. And now
it's so simplistic.
And it's happened to me too. I've definitely like seen somebody like tweet a thing and been like, oh, how about this? And then being like, no, this forum is for feckless complaining only. I'm not interested in any fucking advice.
I'm having a very complicated issue here. And you're like, hey man, just relax. Like, not only does that not work, you just made it worse.
Yeah. Yes. No, relax is never the advice.
Yeah. Anytime anybody has ever said, hey, relax. It's like, oh, that did not help.
No.
Because I'm clearly not relaxed. And I'm trying to get through this situation, and saying something as flippant as that is really going to make this worse.
It's usually like, we're about to fist fight now.
Yeah, we there isn't any relaxing.
It went from a passive, hey, we're all good, to are we gonna fight right now?
I was just including you in something that was happening in my life, and hey, relax is not what I was talking about. I included you because I thought you were a friend that we could talk about this with, and you're like, relax.
Unless you're at a spa, and then it's actually apt advice.
Well,
hey,
sure,
relax.
yes.
Hey, relax.
Yeah, exactly. But not after you've given somebody a lot of information about your life. And they're like,
I also am
don't
not
worry about it.
Despite the fact that this is what I do now, I'm also not the person to do that with, most people. Like in the rings of relationships and friendships, it's really only that upper echelon. Like if I got a real problem, that there's a very few number of people that are actually going to hear about that. Otherwise, you're kind of getting the can like, yeah, things are fine. The small talk. You're getting the small talk.
But when in actuality, you go and you're drinking above your sink and crying a little bit.
Huh?
And when in actuality, you like somebody that walks by and they'll say, "How you doing?"
Drinking above your sink?
Doing great. But you're in your kitchen and
Gotcha.
you're just like, oh god.
Oh yeah, no, mine is
this is not. It's not.
No, I got you now. I got you. My go-to is always crying in the shower.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're crying in the shower. You
should be doing other things in the shower
uncontrollably in a place where no one can see you.
Yeah, unfortunately, those times happen.
It's been a rough year.
Woo.
Woo. Well,
but we're doing something.
Yeah, I'm mostly crying because of this.
You're like, God damn it, we gotta do this thing again.
I don't have much to report this week. I'm working this weekend. I'm working at the Oscars on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to jam through I think I got the job last week. Last week. And I've been trying to jam through the movies, which is impossible as like a person at home with the family. Like I don't have any time in the day. I'm breaking it. Like the time that we're doing this, I would normally be watching a half a movie and then finishing the other half at night.
Yeah. Well, this is going to pay more.
And this is I will say that, and again, people are going to hear this 4 weeks after the fact. So it's really, not for anything other than for me just to say it. These movies are the kind of movie where you're like, God, that was an amazing piece of art, and I never want to watch it again.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for all cinema, really. Especially if you're watching Netflix and things like that, mm-hmm. You'll see on Netflix that they've taken movies from other countries mm-hmm. and then dubbed them over mm-hmm. in English, and they cut really quickly, so you can't really tell that the lips aren't matching the and we love Netflix and we'd love for them to be a part of this, but they're dubbing over the actual content and cutting it so quickly so it seems like they're speaking English mm-hmm. and it's not, and it's really annoying because they're just pumping out these movies. Have you noticed that?
I have not watched any of those. No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, because they
sorry, you've watched so much Netflix that you're now watching films from other countries in not their native language. You're like, well, might as well.
Yeah.
No, I have not hit that point yet where I am watching just.
Well, they draw you in by the description of what it is. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, and then so you start to watch it and you're like, oh, this is from Denmark,
and now you're in.
Which there's nothing wrong with Denmark.
Yeah, what do you got against Denmark? Jeez.
Nothing.
Fuck, you just lost our tourism sponsorship.
Yeah. I don't know how we got the numbers we've gotten. We haven't even launched this thing yet. I've been you watch like Nomadland, and it's a gorgeous piece of work,
and then I never want to see it again because it's just too. I like the moments of uplift in any of these movies is like not enough for me to go, oh yeah, I definitely want to see that again. Like I got it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is in a lot of the movies that Bridget and I watched together, the second there's like a child involved or there's some sort of crime that involves a child, we're just out. We're like, come on,
dude. This isn't even. I'm trying to think. None of the movies so far. There's one, Promising Young Woman, actually has not even really. There's like maybe a little bit of like violence in that, but not much. Most of the movies are a traumatic thing has already happened and
they're trying to figure it out.
And now it's not even trying to. We're just trying to deal with the repercussions of it. So like the people are already, yeah, for the most part. No, I don't know. Nomadland is like that. So when it starts, the worst thing in her life has already happened to her. And so now you're watching just sort of her moving on with her life through that. Right. Minari, nothing really bad has happened to them when it starts, but it's this Asian family starting a farm in Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas.
Spoiler alert. This part sucks.
And of the podcast. Okay. Well, what do you have to talk about?
I'm just kidding. Go
ahead. No, you go.
No, I'm kidding. I just got bored.
That's it. All right. Well, that's what I got this week, Mister. I want to do this every week. Bring up Pound Town again. What did you write down?
Don't be so sensitive. You're the one that got a job.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Let's see. I wanted to play a game with you.
What is it?
It's whether you know these words.
Like a vocabulary test?
Yeah, you and I both we're pretty good at big words. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay. Atavistic.
I haven't read anything aside from a children's book in an entire year.
I know, but we're good. We're educated.
Okay.
Atavistic.
Atavistic. No, I've never even heard that word.
It's something ancient. Let's see.
Well, this is going great.
Well, I can't read my own writing.
Even better.
Androgenetic?
Nope. You're not going to tell me what any of these words mean?
Yeah, well, the atavistic is something ancient.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought you were like, it means something. Not, yeah.
Androgenetic is to make hormones and things. Sucked. Let's see if I can read this one. Composistence.
No.
It's lust. Strong sexual desire.
Oh.
I was going to bet you $10 on this, and I decided not to do that.
No.
Get one of these. Hemorrhagic, you can probably get that one if you break it down.
If something that hemorrhages.
Yeah, loss of blood.
Oh, all right.
Well, you would have won $10.
Well, I would have been $10 for it, but I would have been down. I would have been down 20 or 30.
What are the other movies you had to watch? How many did you watch?
So I've watched Mank, which is the Fincher movie about the co-writer of Citizen Kane. I watched Promising Young Woman. It's very long.
Did they have?
It's in black and white.
And did
which
they?
Is fine.
But were they able to make that interesting? Because just that log line doesn't really play.
No,
for me.
No,
at least.
No. It's the performances are really great. And they use an interesting kind of like Citizen Kane jumping around in time to tell the story, but it is very much the story of, old Hollywood, sort of the beginning of Hollywood's, or media moguls sort of, I don't know, dabbling in the political system. But it's not terribly interesting.
Yeah.
And for the first like 40 minutes of it, they're just kind of throwing out names of, stars and writers from the 30s and 40s. And I'm just not obsessed with that stuff. So it all went over my head. So for the first like 45 minutes, I was like, what the fuck are we even talking about? But it's beautifully shot. It looks incredible. Gary Oldman's incredible in it.
It's so specific though.
It is very specific. And so it's fine. I think the most watchable, the most overtly enjoyable film has been The Trial of the Chicago 7 on Netflix. About some like Abby Hoffman and a couple of other guys that were seen as sort of revolutionary antagonists during I think it was the 68 DNC in Chicago. And I did not know that story at all. I didn't know any of that. And it's fascinating. Same thing with Judas and the Black Messiah. I didn't really know anything about Fred Hampton. I only knew about the Black Panthers as sort of like a larger picture organization, but not really the with the nuance and the maneuver. I certainly didn't know about Fred Hampton much anyway before going into the film. As a Nomadland Minari, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's just heartbreaking to watch because Chadwick Boseman's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But man, he's phenomenal in it. Just like you're just kind of crushed.
Yeah.
Because the circumstances of the film, and then obviously his loss is sort of just like double. It's all just been like double. None of them are like, I feel great now. Oh my God, I watched The Father last night with Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman, and it's about a guy.
That one seems, I think that's supposed to be really difficult to watch.
It is. It's, Anthony Hopkins has dementia in it. So it's really about, they really play with time and, they like swap actors out in roles so that you're kind of like experiencing for as much as you can in that medium, what this guy's, what a day in this guy's life is like. And it's heartbreaking. And the heartbreaking realization that there comes a point in your life where if that happens to you, you are alone because the rest of your brain has alienated you, and sort of the rest of your life is going to alienate you in a way. And you wouldn't want that for you. You wouldn't want your, then middle-aged child to be taking care of you for the rest of your life, because that you would be a drain on them. But in that moment, you don't know that.
Yeah.
It's so rough, bro. And they're all kind of like that in a way. There's been, except for Borat.
Well, it's kind of been the year, to be honest. The year's been that for all of us. It's kind of been a drain. And I hope this podcast isn't becoming that. But everybody's gone through so much and had to deal with so many things that I think that that's kind of fed into these.
The crazy thing, and I don't know, I would be curious. I have not had a chance to look into the individual films and when they started production, but Trial of the Chicago 7, Judas and the Black Messiah. Was there another one? Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Like a lot of the films that lean on social issues or sort of like revolve around social issues. I think that obviously part of the reason why they resonate is because of the social issues that, are being exposed, or sort of the injustices that are being exposed really incredibly overtly and have been over the last years in regards to race and politics. And I would be curious to know if they started production. They must have started production before the killing of George Floyd last year, because you're just watching scenes of protests and cops beating up protesters. And you're like, oh my God, like we just watched that, or it feels like, well, we're watching it now. We were watching it a year ago, but then to think how sort of like prescient these films might have been if they started production in like 2017 or 2018. You might have been like this Hail Mary pass. We're like, I hope people are ready for this. And then you watch the film and you're, now in 2020 or 2021. Yeah, holy shit, it's speaking to the exact same shit. And it's there's obviously a large group of people, Black people in our country who are, they're well acquainted with these things. And it's really just white people like me who have been like, holy shit, obviously I knew, but I didn't really know to this extent, how like not much has changed, despite the fact that we had been saying things had been changing.
We can't know. I mean, we really can't. We can't.
Exactly.
We can't put ourselves in other people's shoes.
So seeing those movies has sort of like nailed it down in a way that was like, yeah, it really, you know, these are all based on true stories, and it's the exact same shit that people were talking about in the 60s.
What's your anxiety level for Sunday?
Very low, very low. I mean, people that if you're watching this and you don't know, or you might have even seen it on TV by the time this airs, but the carpet itself is, well, I'm vaccinated, so that's a huge relief. But you know how in the past, a little bit of insight into how a red carpet like the Oscars would work is you get a 3 foot wide.
We are literally smashed into these small little spots.
So you have a 3 foot wide space, and it goes like 12 feet back. And that's the on-camera host, a producer, a camera operator, maybe 2 camera operators, an audio person, maybe a wardrobe, maybe a makeup person. Who knows? You can have like 7 people in a space, and there's nothing dividing you. You're
touching each other.
You're touching each other all the time. That's obviously not going to cut it this year. So now instead of a 3 foot space, you have 2 outlets sharing a 30 foot space.
Hey, that's fantastic.
It's huge. And then in that, there's enough space, you know, from the back of the press area to the front of the press area, where the audio guy sits all the way in the back. 6 feet in front of him is the camera or the producer. 6 feet in front of that person is the camera. And then 6 feet in front of the camera is me. And then 6 feet past me is the celebrity with a mic stand. So you're just
like you're
30 feet away from each other.
Hey, how did you like making the movie?
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that, actually. I'm legitimately worried about that.
I thought it had so many wonderful tones.
What did you say? Yeah.
Tones.
Who knew? We didn't know that it would be as prophetic as it was.
The music was beautiful. Beautiful.
So
yeah, that'll be fun to hear about afterwards.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And then, you know, there's also a part of me that's like, I might just be getting paid to just stand there because maybe people aren't incredibly comfortable with the idea of doing press right now.
At all.
Or like going and, you know, you're 6 feet away and you're walking up to a mic stand. But maybe
are they, is it a boom mic that they're walking under? Because they can't have something like this.
I think it is exactly. I think it's exactly like that. It's on a mic stand, and I think it's wired back to your
like this.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I will see on Sunday, but that's what I'm being led to believe. That way, nobody has to touch it.
Yeah.
But
the camera guy's not on the camera.
He's on the camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And even just to say, I mean, aside from the fact that I need a job, but B, just to see what it's going to be like. I'm very curious to know. And again, I'm sure there are a ton of people who are like, I don't give a shit about those things, and it doesn't even matter. And
it's interesting.
You're totally justified in that, but I've been doing, since I've been doing it one way for so long, it'll be interesting to see what it's like, and to even say, in a couple of years, oh yeah, no, I did the post-pandemic Oscars. It was a giant fucking fiasco, or oh no, it went really great.
I didn't see anybody. I wasn't. You're gonna have so much space.
Oh yeah,
because we never had space. The whole thing is you're just touching everybody. That was my thing about the red carpets.
You just crunch.
You got people touching you, and I've got my comfort zone is pretty wide, and holy cow. I mean, and I listen, all the people we worked with are wonderful, but there's some of them like, hey, just don't, please. Good Lord.
Yeah, but you're in each other's space. You're in each other's space, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. It just has to happen. Because I went to an event once where it was like
TCAs, the TCAs when you're there for like 8 hours.
Yes.
And you're just smashed up against every outlet, everywhere from all over the world.
Yep.
And you're just standing there for 8 hours.
Second you like take a second and you move out of your position, somebody else down the line's like, hey, move back. You're in my shot. You're like, oh, fuck me. I fucking hate this.
When do I get my box lunch?
Yes, exactly. So that is Oh God, there was a shoot once.
I'm not trying to make you anxious about Sunday.
No. And again, because I have so much space, I'm not. It's
good.
like, I'm going to be out there all day because you have to go. I'm sure we're going to have to test on the spot or something like that. Who knows what the protocols? I've done more COVID tests today than I've done in, the entire time.
Why today?
Because they all need to go get get my makeup done. I got to go get a test to make sure that I'm good for Sunday. And then I had to stick one up my nose and then UPS that for the academy. It's like
where do you go to do makeup?
I'm going back to E.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Comcast company. Yeah. So it's,
yeah.
I'll go there.
Yeah. Bridge is working on it.
Right.
Actually, I mean, in a weird way, are working together.
Is she going to be there?
No.
Oh,
but she's an
right.
executive. Come on, she doesn't go
down. So today 2 tests for different arms of this operation, and then and then we'll see. And then we'll see what happens on Sunday. It's just gonna be standing out there all day. And then
when do you have to get there early?
I think they want us there at 11. Load in is at 11. I don't know. I have no idea what time the carpet starts. It's at Union Station this year. So
do they have 2 locations?
I think they're doing some stuff at the Kodak and some stuff down at Union Station. The carpet's at Union Station. So I don't know. Right. Since I've never done it. We've never done it there. Nobody's ever done it there. Who knows what it's going to be like?
No, you're doing good.
No.
I like your positivity.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to get stressed because what good is it going to do me? I'll just go and do it and see what happens. Worst comes to worst. I don't do any interviews because nobody wants to do it. And on the plus side, on the best case scenario, do a bunch and hopefully it's fun. And it's different too, because it's for a movie channel, a British movie channel. So they really only give a shit about the movie. They're not like, find out who they're dating. They don't give a shit. They're just like, something interesting about the movie. I'm like, oh, all right.
What are you wearing?
Why was this so fucking depressing?
The podcast or the movie?
I had to just, after I finished the movie, I had to just sit there for 15 minutes and collect myself.
Oh, Christ.
And it's weird. We looked back at some past Oscar nominees. And once they expanded the field from 5 to 10, you would really get like a really random mix of stuff. You'd get like District 9, which was a sci-fi film, Mad Max. So there's always like that one or two that you were always like, or that I personally was always really excited to watch. And then there was stuff that you were always, be a little less excited to watch. And this year it's none of the, nothing that's like a big studio blockbuster obviously made it in because it was all released on Netflix.
Yeah. which I don't know. How do you feel about it? I actually prefer having the ability to watch something in that environment. There's a couple
at home
movies that, and even if they charge $19 for them, I mean, it's still less expensive than going to the movies.
So,
and I have got a 110-inch screen, so I can literally, create kind of a movie theater in my house.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because I ordered my wife had received just like a little Kodak Palm projector. It's like the size. It's very small.
I shot one of those.
You shot one?
when they first came out, I did a
demo?
Marketing commercial for it.
And
they're cool.
And so it's, it's very small. It will connect to Wi-Fi. It has an operating system. So it has apps, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I busted it out because I was like, well, I'm going to watch all these movies. I don't want to be in the house bothering my wife. I'll put up a tablecloth in the garage and try to see if I can do something with that. I was doing that. And then just above my head, I've installed a projector screen yesterday. So I've just got this low rent movie theater in my garage now.
I've got the one that actually like physically comes down, and I had to hire a guy to come in and do all the wiring and everything.
Wiring it, yeah.
But it's a full 1080p
I don't know what the stats are on the projector. I think it's HD, but it's like it also falls out of focus pretty easily. But yeah, I've got like a projector that's like a.
So are you using what she had, or did you buy a projector?
Oh no. I'm using what she had. I think it's HD because it's 16:9. The presentation is 16:9.
How does it look?
It looks fine. It didn't look that great.
Mine was it was a couple grand.
No. This, I think, would probably, if you were to buy it on Amazon, maybe $300, maybe $200.
That's all you need, though. I mean,
and then I plug my iPad into the HDMI in.
Yeah.
And then I can rent a movie on Apple. I've been whatever I've had to rent for this.
Are you living in the garage?
Basically, it's my office, it's my gym, and now it's my movie theater, and this is now
studio,
podcast studio. It's serving a lot of purposes.
Yeah, well, right on.
Serving a lot of purposes. It's awesome. And so I seriously thought that, as excited as I may be to go back to a movie theater at some point, I don't know when I'm actually going to feel comfortable enough to go, because I don't really want to go and sit in a mask the entire time. No. I just don't love wearing a mask. I also don't. I obviously will go do it because I'm a social, because I'm a responsible member of society. But I don't like. I want to. If I'm going to go to a movie theater, I kind of want the whole experience. I want to get a soda. I want to get a popcorn, and I want to, not be worried about it. Otherwise, I might as well just be at home because I can make an 80 or 90 inch picture on this screen.
And you can pause.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I can have a beer. I can pause it. I can, I can do whatever. And when HBO Max decided that they were going to release all of Warner Brothers films on their app over the summer, and people went crazy, I was like, this is the only way that makes sense, because there was the year that we had our kid, and we're going to have another kid this summer, where you're like, well, all right, well, I guess I'm not really going to be leaving the house much because I've got a brand new baby that's got to be fed every 2 hours or 3 hours. But if there had been an option for us to pay $30 to get whatever it was that summer, I don't know, Fast and the Furious 8, I have no clue. We would have done it because we were just at fucking home. And if it was like, hey, here's the movie of the week, let's rent that, because now we're still part of the conversation. We can still.
Well, that's how I feel about it as well. Being able to just kind of get your stuff here, and especially because of this environment and everything. But I've also found that I'm pretty comfortable.
Yes.
In this environment.
I know, dude. I had the same thought about like going out into the world. It was like
cool.
Like, oh God. I went
because we're a Disney family, and so we're looking at Disney tickets, and we're, Bridget works at Disney and all that stuff. So but so we've got tickets, and we're gonna get hotel rooms and things down there.
Oh yeah.
The whole place is gonna smell like bleach, I'm sure. I mean, there's no scenario where Disney
spraying you down with it as you walk in.
Exactly. They're like, hold your nose.
Yeah.
We
got to get it in your eyes. You got to get it in your eyes. Hold them open.
They throw a lie at you like you're going into prison. But other than that, I mean, I'm comfortable doing. Otherwise, I mean, I think people are going to get a little loosey goosey about it, and who knows what's going to happen next.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I even just as far as like feeling a little bit of I'm not like a socially anxious person, but I'm definitely, after a year of not having been very social at all.
You're kind of comfortable.
Like I went to go get my hair cut, and I was like, what the fuck do I do with my hands? What do I talk to a stranger about? I don't even know these things anymore.
Where do I put these?
Yeah. Just like I was waiting, and I was like, what do I do? Do I have to like, if I pop in and say, hey, I'm here, is that like, am I invading somebody's space, or what do I don't know. So obviously you got to do things. You got to go back to work. You got to go do whatever.
Yeah.
You want to participate in life. But at the same time, it's like, man, there are going to be some awkward moments going back out into the world.
That's the problem. That's my thing, is you're going to run into somebody that's having a much harder time than you.
Oh, of course.
And they're going to be very vocal about it. And
yes,
those are the issues that I'm not looking forward to. Somebody, pushing their agenda on you.
Oh, yes. Dude, I saw a video of that.
You go into a supermarket and
last night I was just scrolling through Twitter and there was a video of unmasked people protesting outside of a school as all these kids walk in masks, and they're like trying to hand them the kids leaflets. These unmasked. I was like, oh my God.
Was that here?
I don't know where it was. But I like my heart started to beat hard. I was like, oh my God, if I was one of those kids' parents,
I'd be furious.
I'd be furious that people were trying to like spread whatever their propaganda was, on the sidewalk as these kids are going into school. And I got to say, the kids, every single one of them in this very short video, it was only like 90 seconds or something like that. All of them were like, no, thanks. No, thanks. No, thanks. I got to keep going inside. I was like, thank you for these fucking kids for having more sense than.
Well, they've got good
people.
Parents.
Yeah.
Their parents aren't standing in that line.
I couldn't believe it. Guy handing out fucking business cards to these kids. It was like, fuck, that should be fucking illegal.
Seriously.
You should be able to do that shit.
No,
I thought there was. Like a rule about getting close to a school.
Our school, you have to have a badge. Like you have to wear a badge, and this is before the pandemic. Like you have to have something that indicates who you are and who you're. So we have these little badges you put on. It's kind of like the lanyard or something at work.
Yeah.
So that when you walk on to campus,
people know that you belong there.
You're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And to be honest, I think that was the issue, not the issue, but in this particular video, they're on the sidewalk. They're not necessarily on campus, but it's just like the part, like the drop-off zone where the kids are walking down the sidewalk to make the turn into school. They're right there.
I'd have a big problem with that.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think you and I both are in the same position and saying that would be something that we would probably confront.
If I saw that video or if I saw that happening while I was dropping my kid off.
Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't promise. There was a cop there. I couldn't promise that there wouldn't be a problem. I would just be so not okay with that. But I don't know. I don't know. I do know. Yeah, I don't know. The kids are fine in a fucking mask. They're fine.
Exactly.
Fine. They're fine. And then the more we just like fucking do it, the more we can get back to normal. Then everybody's going to be fine. But if you put up this fucking fight, then we're going to be doing it forever.
And why?
That's my thing.
But why? And why have a conversation? Like, just do it. This is such an easy thing.
I know.
We're all trying to get out.
It's just the mental gymnastics.
We all want to get back to work. We want to get things
exactly
going again. We need all of the things just pay attention.
Right.
You clearly don't have a job because you're outside of a school on a Tuesday,
9 a.m.
picketing about nonsense.
Yes.
In our view, I don't know the details of what they were picketing about, but
that's what it was. It was
it's
the masks.
Yeah.
Or vaccines,
Just go home and decide not to vaccinate yourself in your bedroom. Just stay there.
Just don't go out. Just stay there. It is going to be, one of the things that was really interesting that my wife read me a couple of days ago is, I guess, the plan for California when it opens sometime midsummer. I can't remember if it was June or July or middle or whatever. And it was indoor concerts, indoor venues open, 75% capacity with proof of vaccination. And I thought that was really interesting because not that you should be letting unvaccinated people, like, I mean, it seems like we're setting up a class system, a tier system.
Yeah.
And almost like, I don't know if even though I'm vaccinated, there's still a chance you can get it. And so the more unvaccinated people you're around, it sort of seems, I don't know, maybe I don't know proportions, right? But it seems like the higher your chances of getting it, the more you're exposed to it, the higher your chance of getting it is. And the greater risk you are at if you are around a bunch of unvaccinated people. So it'll be interesting to see, who's not getting it for political reasons or, whatever their reasons are. And they feel like they're
such a weird conversation
out of society.
It's such a weird conversation to even to be having that we're in a situation where you've got to have a card that allows you into a venue.
Yeah.
Like that's so alien to us. And yet,
sure.
But now it's become kind of the norm.
Unless you travel and then you need one, right? Like a passport or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
or a driver's license. You got to show a driver's license to get into a bar.
Because this disease or virus isn't going away. I mean, it's going to be with us. And so,
yeah.
So I'm going to, I mean, you have to get your boosters like every 6 months is what they're
saying. That official? Is that official?
It's not. Nothing's official.
Oh,
I mean, as far as I know, the FDA hasn't even actually approved any of these. They've just kind of emergency put them through. So I guess we'll see.
I read the thing about the booster shots every 6 months. I was like, man, should I have just waited longer? Because I got mine fairly early on, and now I'm gonna have to like get another one.
Well, the second one's it's kicking a bunch of people.
I had nothing. I had no reaction to it whatsoever.
Yeah, Bridget didn't either. I've kind of felt weird since I've gotten them.
But you're also drinking an unhealthy amount of Dayquill.
No, I drink it once a week for this thing. And again, look, I didn't blow my nose.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know how much you're supposed to take. I don't know
if it's the vaccine or the fact that I'm mixing NyQuil with my cereal.
It's not NyQuil.
Dayquil. I don't know what the fuck. I know what the difference is, but
NyQuil, you take that, you're out in like 15 minutes. This would be a horrible podcast.
Oh God.
I'd be like,
worse than it already is.
No, we're killing it.
There might be a day. I'm not kidding.
Success.
As I said, I'm going to have another kid's. Well, by the time this airs, probably I'll have a kid, but there might be a day where I nod off in this chair.
Well, okay. We're just gonna do all my notes then.
I'm here. I'm listening. I slept for 2 hours less. That could be a thing. I saw a story.
My notes are my friend's Tinder had a photo with me in it, which I thought was weird. You know who that is.
Do I?
Yeah, because you were there. Remember? I said, bring up your Tinder picture. It was her and me in her Tinder.
Oh, yes, I do know who you're talking about.
We don't need to bring it up.
I do know who you're talking about. Yes.
She might too.
Love her.
Love her very much.
I don't mean that ironically. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't know. I mean, I have not been. Dude, I will say though, I'm thankful to be married, and there's no caveat there, because yes. I went to go get my hair cut, and then later on, same day, like 6 hours later, was getting my hair cut, and the woman, I don't know, she was mentioning something about like her, getting back out into the world, or the roommate or whatever. Somehow dating came up, and she was like, "Man, dating here, it's dark out there, man." I was like, "Oh shit."
That's because we're taken. Well,
yeah. And so, and I was like, I don't know, because I've been in a relationship before, even like, there was Match.com, but well before like dating apps. And so I was like, is it different during pandemic? Whatever. It's moot. Later on in that day, another friend broke up with somebody or got ghosted by some dude. And she was sort of lamenting the same thing. And I was like, wow, twice. I hadn't talked about dating in LA in probably since we were in the office, well over a year ago. And then just like my first day back out into the world, 2 people were like, God, dating here fucking sucks.
Dude, I'm not going to say the word.
I felt bad. I was like, oh God, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to say the phrase, but when this thing is over, single people are going to rush at each other.
We're gonna have another pandemic, an STD pandemic for sure.
That's going to be the new the pregnancy levels and everything should go through the roof.
It's like we saw the decline of COVID-19 just correlated exactly with the rise in herpes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ugly. Wrap it up, people. Wrap it up. That's all I'm gonna say. Be responsible. Make good choices.
Well, and that's a good thing to end on.
Have fun, but be smart, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
We forgot to talk about Jesus. Well, that'll be the next episode. Well, it's something to do. A great episode.
A little dodgy in the middle there, but it was all right. I don't know.
Yeah, we got through
my
it.
brain. I can't help it. My brain is it's like I'm trying to jam it with all these movies. That's all I got right now.
Yeah, no, I got it. Look, it's good. And I made fun of you for it. And I think that's going to resonate. And nobody's going to hear any of this that we're talking about right now.
That's right. That's right.
Because it's going to be over a music bed or under a music bed. Do you want to be under or over? Are you a top or a bottom?
For a music bed, I prefer over.
Oh, great. Well,
bed, I think maybe under. I don't know. Depends on the day.
Well, it was wonderful. If this is what we were trying to do, we nailed it. Yeah, exactly. Jesus. Next episode.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to you
later.